Welcome back, guys. I'm Zell, and today we've got a zero tolerance 0770. Won't y'all come in here a little closer and we'll get a look at it. Taking a closer look at the zero tolerance 0770, we've got aluminum scales with nice shapes here and torque screw construction, of course, with this big decorative pivot, although there is a Torx shaped hole down in there where you can get that pivot apart if you need to. As we roll it around to the back, we have an aluminum spacer, which has been cut to give you a little bit of quasi-jimping back there. And here on the back of our flipper, we've got a little bit of jimping as well. It's zero tolerance style jimping, a little more aggressive than most of the Kershaw stuff, but not horribly so. Here on the other side of the knife, we can see we've got a deep carry pocket clip similar to what they put on the Kershaw Cryos. And we have a hex shape inset into the handle for our pivot. And then rolling it on around to the top, we can see a well-centered blade and the inset liner lock. Instead of having an entire liner or using the frame for the lock, that's a piece of stainless inset into the handle. Alright, to quickly go through the numbers. Closed, we have a length of 4.3 inches with 0.46 inches thick and a height of 1.48. So it's a rather small knife for zero tolerance. When we open the knife up, we get an overall length of 7 5/8 with a blade length of 3.3 inches and an edge length of 3.3 inches and a blade thickness of 0.12. The overall weight on the knife is 3.87 ounces. Now, some interesting things here. The blade is made of Elmax steel and it's got this kind of modified sheep's foot. Comes up and then has a little bit of a hook when it comes out to the point. It's fairly easy to sharpen, and the blade shape works really well for EDC tasks. Here we can see that inset liner lock. It's got really good lockup at 80+% there. But what's nice, even with it locking up that far, it's fairly easy to unlock the knife. Going up the spine of the blade, we have a bit of a grind up here at the top, narrowing it, but it gets wider here and then comes back down to the point, giving you a fairly strong blade. And the blade is made out of Elmax steel, which I've found to be very good. Holds an edge really well. It's supposed to be really stain resistant. I don't really get to test that much where I live, but it's supposed to be. And it's not horrible to sharpen. In fact, it's probably right in there with S30V, maybe even a little easier. Also looking at the spine of the knife, we can see we have some jimping here. And thankfully, this is not standard ZT jimping. It's not something that's going to tear your thumb up. However, it's the only jimping on the knife, and it's really not much. Whenever you put your hand around the knife, the blade shape holds your hand in really well, and the flipper, with its little bit of jimping, provides a good solid hold on the knife. But this jimping up here on the spine, it's not aggressive enough. It doesn't really cause any problems with the handling of the knife, but this is one place I wish they would have went more the normal zero tolerance way and given us a little bit more aggressive jimping. The flipping action on the knife with the speed safe system is smooth and quick. And just like we've talked about many times with this style knife, you can unlock it, start to rotate the blade back towards you, and the flipper will catch on your thumb, letting you know if you've gotten that far, it's time to get your thumb the heck out the way before you cut it off. And then you can go ahead and close the knife. For ZT, this knife is a bit of an oddity at only 3.87 ounces. Most of the ZT knives are 5+ ounces, big old heavy things, well built, great knives, but big and heavy. So in the ZT line, this is definitely your gentleman's folder. I really like the ZT-0770. It's kind of unfortunate that they don't make the aluminum handled model anymore. If you're looking for one, they do make a 0770 CF. It's a model almost exactly like this one, except it has carbon fiber for the handles. I carry this knife quite a bit. I know what you're saying. That was a limited production knife. Why would you do that? Well, it's a knife. It's for me to use, and I rather enjoy this one. The blade shape is a little interesting. It does take a little getting used to. That little hook at the end before it comes to the point can throw you off, and yeah, I've poked myself a couple of times with it. Nothing bad, but I did bleed. But once you learn how to use the blade, it rewards you. It works well. And I knew that you guys probably wouldn't be able to get a hold of one of these except on the secondary market, but I wanted you to see this thing. It is just a well put together knife from Zero Tolerance, and it's one of the few knives that they make that isn't ridiculously overbuilt. I know they say everything's overbuilt. Well, this one is light. It's not like, say, a 0350 or one of the 500 series where they're kind of on the heavy side, but it's still got a nice feel to it. Something I learned a long time ago, whenever you're dealing with mechanical things, they have different kinds of sounds. And this knife, to me, the action has what I consider a Teflon sound. It snaps, but it's a muted snap whenever it comes open. And to me, that's always been the sound of quality. And that's really what you're getting with Zero Tolerance. Any of their knives. You're getting a very good quality knife. And the 0770 is just a lightweight representation of that, with an interesting blade shape that carries really well. That deep carry pocket clip is one of the reasons I really like this. One downfall of the knife is whenever you get it in your hand, it fits well, and the handle shape holds your hand in, but there's really not any jimping or anything else on the knife. So that might be something to think about. In the carbon fiber version, from what I understand, it's a little slicker than the aluminum version. So anyhow, I just wanted you guys to get a chance to get a look at it, and I really appreciate you stopping by. Be sure and whack that like button or that share button down there. Share this with all your friends, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've got a bunch of interesting stuff coming up that you're not going to want to miss. Alright guys, I've got a buck marksman over here I've got to finish sharpening, so you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.